and welcome. Today I am going to be embarking on a completely new instrument. I'm going to start learning something that I've never played before and learning it from scratch and seeing how I get on. Now what's brought this about is that my grandfather recently passed away, and he was very well known for playing a particular instrument. He also played brass instruments, and I've inherited a number of brass instruments from him, including this here, which is an 1885 horn thing. I haven't really found too much out about it, but that's one of the instruments I've inherited from him. One of the other instruments I've inherited from him is this. This is a 120 bass piano accordion, and I have no idea what I'm doing with it. What I know about the piano accordion so far is pretty limited. There's a big keyboard on one side. I actually had to Google which way up to hold this because I wasn't sure whether you played the keyboard with your right hand or whether you played all these buttons with your right hand, so I had to Google that to start off with. But there are a few interesting features and elements to this which I am somewhat familiar with, and that comes from my knowledge of pipe organs. Even though the piano accordion doesn't use pipes, obviously, it does use reeds. And what we have down this side is a bunch of registrations, and these registrations use some of the same concepts as pipe organs. So what you might be able to see along there is a set of different pitches. So you can have this side speaking in written pitch, or 8 foot, or an octave below, or an octave above, so that's 16 and 4 foot pitches respectively, or a combination of all three of them. So that's something that you can do on this side. Over on this side there are 120 buttons. Each of these buttons does something. I don't yet know what. There are also unmarked things up here. These do something else. There looks like there's been a sound, some knobs, so you can plug this into a sound system. Don't know if that works, don't know if that was factory. But what I can say about this is that my granddad played this very instrument for a good long while, and he was particularly well known in Salvation Army circles for playing this one-handed. He would use his left hand and play all these chord buttons. Some of them make chords, some of them make other sounds. I haven't worked that out yet. And he would play a cornet in the other hand. So instead of using the melody on here, which he could also do, you'd play the cornet right-handed and you'd play the piano accordion left-handed. Something that makes that particularly impressive in my mind at least is that this instrument is in the key of C. His cornet was in the key of B flat, so he might be playing a B flat chord and he would have to think that that's actually a C on the cornet. So he was able to do that whilst navigating two completely separate instruments and having to deal with the weight of this thing. This thing is not light, and it hangs around your shoulders on these pair of straps. As some of you may also know, I have a back problem. I have a fractured spine and 3 ruptured discs, and I can't play this for very long as a consequence because it just hurts too much. So I'm going to give myself a couple of weeks, about half an hour every couple of days is about what I can manage, and see where I get to. So I hope you enjoy this ride. Any tips and pointers you can give me would be most gratefully appreciated. Thanks for watching.